Hello, tabletop baseball fans. This is Tenacious Earl with the next game in the 2016 version of the Tenacious Baseball League. We have game, got game 3 of the series between Detroit and Miami. The most recent game was a 5-4 victory for Detroit. So the series is tied at 1-1. It was a good game. Came down to Dustin McGowan giving up a 2-run home run to J.D. Martinez to lose that one for the Marlins, or win it for the Tigers, however you want to look at it. So on the hill for Detroit will be Jordan Zimmerman, 0-1, 4.15 ERA. He has 13 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, 10 hits. 10 Ks, no walks. Maybe feels a little hard done by his not only his ERA but his record, as compared to Adam Conley, who's 1-0 with a 2.08 ERA, so half his ERA. He's given up half the earned runs in the same innings of pitched, but he's given up 7 more hits, same number of home runs, a few more strikeouts, many more walks. So somehow he's gotten away with it a little more, and so. Things look a little choppy in the screen here. I don't know if that's just the way it is, but I am going to zoom it out as far as it will go. So I apologize if it's cloudy or a little off for you. So it'll be Conley on the mound first, being the home team, the Marlins. It's a good day for baseball here in Florida. It's going to be 11s on the singles, ballpark singles, and 3s on the ballpark home runs. Conley is a lefty, so a change in catchers for both teams from the night game that came before. This is a day game, so I actually did the roles in both cases. They needed rest, so the catchers, but also Anthony Goes needed a rest in center field. But everybody else on both teams was okay to keep going. So for Detroit, they will lead off with Ian Kinsler, second base, Jose Iglesias, shortstop, Miguel Cabrera at third, J.D. Martinez in right, Victor Martinez at first, Justin Upton in left, Jared Saltalamacchia catching. This will be the last game that James McCann is injured in his stint. Andrew Romine in center and Jordan Zimmerman on the mound. Detroit 3-8 record, and Miami Marlins 6-5, and it'll be Ian Kinsler against the lefty Conley. Starting us off here, Detroit at Miami, and the pitch. Against a righty, a 5-5, and Kinsler is struck out. So he had 115 in the real deal, so strikeouts are not a surprise for him. Jose Iglesias with 1 out. 3-2 against a lefty, and he grounds it back to Derek Dietrich. Slightly up the middle, but Dietrich gets over to it and makes the play. That's 2 down. Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera with a 268 average with a home run so far. He's been a little slow with the power. And a little glary there, but a 5-11 against a right-handed hitter. That'll be a ballpark single, 1-11. About a 15 means it'll be a line out to short, and 1-2-3. And Conley takes care of the Tigers to start. So, you know what? Let's do this real quick before I get too far in. Forgot to mention this game. I played this a couple nights ago. The Yankees defeated the Los Angeles Angels 1-0 in 10 innings. Had a scoreless game through 9. Michael Pineda and Jared Weaver, plus the bullpens, combined for a 9-inning shutout. But then, in the top of the 10th, off of A.J. Ochter, Mark Teixeira got on base with 1 out with a single, and then a double by McCann made it second and third. They got Chase Headley out, who pinch hit, but then after an intentional walk of Brett Gardner to load the bases with 2 outs, the pinch hitter was Aaron Hicks, and he drew a walk off Octor, which scored the run. And then Andrew Miller came in, and it wasn't a routine save. They had to intentionally walk Mike Trout to give Pujols a chance with the bases loaded and 2 outs. But he grounded out to short, and the Yankees preserved their win. And they took that series. They were on the road, so thought people, any Yankees fans, would be interested here. So, all right, Jordan Zimmerman will take the mound now. So Marlins, as I said, the only change, Real Muto gets the day off catching. Prado at third base. Derek Dietrich going to move in the second spot against the righty. Playing at second, Christian Yelich in left. Giancarlo Stanton in right. Justin Bour first base. Marcell Ozuna in center. Hechavarria. Did I spell that right? Yes, I did. Denny Hechavarria at shortstop. Jeff Mathis behind the plate, and Conley on the mound for the Marlins in batting ninth. So with pitcher's hitting card, actually he has his own, and it is pretty barren. But being a lefty, he may have a chance off the pitcher's card. So Prado leading off, and that's a 2-6 against a righty, and he hits a grounder to Iglesias, who takes it cleanly, throws to first, and out number 1, Derek Dietrich. 2-8. Derek Dietrich hits a pretty large piece of this one. Has a chance on a 1-4 to be a home run, otherwise it'll be a double. It's an 8. So a double for Dietrich. And it'll bring up Christian Yelich. For Zimmerman, a +1, and then Saltalamacchia +2, so +3. Let's check +2 for Conley, and Mathis is -1, so a +1. Stealing-wise, I'm talking about. Dietrich, kind of a flyer chance at stealing. It's going to be Christian Yelich. With 1 out, runner at second. Oh, boy. 6-10. That went rolling, and Zimmerman is a 10 injury guy. Has he already had an injury? He did. 2 games. We're going to have to roll it. 6-10 against a lefty. Catcher X. Where is my catcher? Okay, it's right here. Saltalamacchia is a 4E1. 4 and a 9. Potential passed ball. So and let's see, 6-8 on E1. That's not going to be a problem. So we re-roll off of Zimmerman's wild pitch, 1-6. It's a 17, so no passed ball. So that'll be a pop out to the catcher. That's 2 outs. Now we need to re-roll the D20 and see what the injury is for Zimmerman. It's a 2. That means he will be okay. No injury. So Giancarlo Stanton with 2 outs. Again, Dietrich at second. Couldn't advance on the pop-up, obviously. 2-10. 2-10, and he strikes out. So Stanton with the whiff. First one for Zimmerman. And the inning's over. We're going to go to the top of the second. No score. All right. My sheet keeps moving here. J.D. Martinez will be the batter against Conley, a lefty. Another 2-10. That's a ground ball to third. Prado makes the play. No trouble there. Victor Martinez. 185 for Martinez so far in the season, and a 2-6. We've gotten a lot of 2s so far. That's a walk. Victor not a runner. It's going to be Justin Upton. and a 4-9 against a righty. Okay, 1-9, and Upton has normal power. 1-9 is a normal home run on the 4-9 roll against a righty. 10-20 a double. It's a 45% chance at a home run. It'd be a 2-0 lead for the Tigers. It's a 16. That'll be a double. With Victor running, I think it's going to be a case of having to hold up, because you aren't going to try and get him run out of it with 1 out. Chance at a potential sac fly here. Saltalamacchia. Runners at second and third. And against, he's batting from the right side as a switch hitter. 5-11, a ballpark single chance. Would get the run home. 1-11. It's a 13. It's off the chart just barely, or off the screen. That's going to be another line out to short, as they've gotten 2 ballpark chances and none of them have come up roses for them. And Andrew Romine, they will put him on. Much rather face number 2 hitting card of Jordan Zimmerman against Conley. Batting from the right side here, mind you. 2 outs. And a 6-2. Well, a ballpark home run chance. That's what that is that's a 1-3, because he's a weak hitter. So it's going to be a 1-3 would be a single, 2 stars, and they'd score 2 runs. Above 4 or above, and it will be the end of the inning on a fly ball out. It's a 14. So they will fly out to, and he's on the right, so left field. Inning over. Some early chances for the Tigers, but they can't cash in. Still no score. So Justin Bour against a righty here. He's got that 2-6. That is, doesn't look like much, but that is, I think, 4 potential rolls in one. It's either 4 or 5. I can't remember which. I could do the math, but got a game to play here. So Bour, and it's a 4-6 against a lefty. 4-6. That's a ground ball to first base. And Victor Martinez over there is able to grab that for the out. With 1 out, it'll be Marcell Ozuna. And a 4-8 this time against a righty. And that'll be a fly ball to, that's Andrew Romine. Makes the play for the 2nd out. Nice catch. A Denny Hechavarria. And a 6-4 against a right-hander. Fly ball to center. That is again going to be Romine. 4E13. And a 10. Four and a 10. That is a single off of the outfield chart. And then a 9 on an E13 in center. It doesn't make an error, but it is a single and extends the inning. Brings Jeff Mathis to the plate. I think this is his 2nd start of the season. So Hechavarria, he'll try to get a lead here. Needs a 2. And a 6 means no way. And with +3, they're holding him on. So again, that's kind of a dead to rights situation, most likely. Zimmerman against Mathis, 2 outs. 2-6. And that's a high pop-up that Iglesias grabs, and that is the end of the inning. So 1 hit, no runs. And that man left on. We're going to go to the 3rd. Still no score. Ian Kinsler, 2nd time through the lineup, 200 average. Struggling to start the season a bit. 0 for 1 with a strikeout against the lefty. And a 5-7, he's batting from the right, and he draws a walk, so more than one way to get on base. Sometimes you'd think about bunting with a guy like Iglesias, but maybe if it were later in the game. But it seems like Detroit needs every single out that they can get, so we're not going to give one away here. Could try stealing. They're holding him on. It would be a 1 to 15 chance if they can get a 5 or a 6. I think we're going to do it after Iglesias. He doesn't ground out a whole lot in the double plays, but... And a 9 on the D20, 5-9 against a righty. Struck him out. So this is where Kinsler will try to get a lead. 5 or a 6. But he gets a 7, so adding these two together. He does not get a good lead, and his secondary lead, it would be a 1 to 8. Maybe with 2 outs we'll try that. Of course, you're taking the bat out of Martinez's hand then. So Miguel Cabrera with 1 out. Another 5-9, but a 2 on the D20 means we have to check. And a 5 means we check passed ball. Mathis is a 0 passed ball, so that doesn't even need a roll. Cabrera gets another chance at it here. And a 3-8. And he strikes out. And even with them holding him on, Ian Kinsler, he's getting a little, let's see, Kinsler has, what, 2 stolen bases, 1 caught stealing. He's getting a little antsy. He wants the 1 to 8 chance here. All they've been able to do, really, is get singles and doubles. He'd like to get down there. 1 to 8, he steals. And it's a 2. And a chance at a throwing error, but they need a 1 on the D20, because a 1, 2, 3 on that roll means there's a chance at a throwing error. You need a 1. It's an 18. So with Kinsler at second, the J.D. Martinez. Another 5-11. Wow, we got a couple of those here. Against a righty. That's a ballpark single. 1 to 11, and that would be first and third. 6 it is. So first and third, it brings up Victor Martinez. He walked last time up, and here in the third, Tigers keep getting close. Can they do it this time? It's a 1-5, and that is a single, and that will score Kinsler from third. J.D. Martinez will advance to third on the play, and an RBI for Victor Martinez as he sneaks one through into the outfield, and a 1-0 lead for the Tigers. And that brings up Justin Upton. 2 hits in a row. Can they get a third and maybe extend this lead? Definitely extend this lead if they can do that. 2 on the D20, and again, a 0 passed ball rating, so that would have been a strikeout for Conley had that stood, but it doesn't, so we re-roll. And it's a 1-9, and it's a strikeout. That ends the inning. So he strikes out the side, but throws in there a walk and a couple singles. And the Tigers take a 1-0 lead. So we'll take a short break here to reset things. Hope everybody out there has had a nice weekend. This is my last day off before going back to the grind. So hope I don't know if anybody's had the week off or any time off recently. You know, it's always nice to have time off, and then it's always nice to kind of get back to work too, I feel like. Get back to a Tribe fan. Yeah, it's just there's a time where you, as someone who, you know, works, you just feel like you got to get back into that groove. Conley will lead off here against Zimmerman. Not a very good card. Looking for a 4, 5, or 6 on the white. And he gets a 1. That's going to be a strikeout. Conley definitely does not take a good swing on the bat. 122 average. What would that be? Maybe 3 hits on... is that right? Nah, it would be 5 hits. 4 would be 10. So it must be 5 hits on the year out of 41 at bats. All right. So Prado with 1 out. And a 3-7. And he grounds it to Ian Kinsler. Kinsler makes the play, and with 2 outs, it'll be Derek Dietrich. And against a lefty, 6-6, and he strikes him out. Jordan Zimmerman having a nice outing so far. 2 hits surrendered, but true to his form this year so far, he has not allowed a walk, which in this case was the undoing of Adam Conley for that run for the Tigers. The leadoff walk was the problem. So, Saltalamacchia against the lefty Conley to lead off the 4th. Batting from the right side is a switch hitter, 5'8". 1 would be a triple. It's an 8. So that'll be a fly ball that is caught by Ozuna for the first out. Andrew Romine hitting number 8. He was put on intentionally last time. That's a 4-5. Batting from the right again as a switch hitter. So ground ball to short. That'll be Hechavarria. He's a 1E16. 10. That'll be fine. And a 1. That'll be fine. So 1 and a 6 on the D20. That D20 really isn't consequential if there's nobody on base. All right, so Zimmerman at the plate. He at least has a couple single chances there. 4-11. He's batting from the right. Another ballpark home run chance for him. 1-3 again is a single. 17 is a line out. Wait, no, that'll be, we'll call that a again a fly ball to the left fielder Yelich, and that will end the inning. So another 0. Boy, I've had 2 games in a row here. Well, no, 2 out of 3 games that have been pretty much pitchers going on. I guess it helps when you're in a park that's friendly to the pitcher. Yelich now, 3-4-5. 1-6, and he strikes out. That's the 4th strikeout for Jordan Zimmerman. 1 out. Giancarlo Stanton and a 6-7. Batting from the right. Well, that will be an almost certain double. A 20 would end up being the single. It's a 12 if you can see that there, so that is a double. Sometimes I don't know my own strength. Not really. All right, Justin Bohr. Bottom of the 4th. 1-0 Detroit. Runner on second, 1 out. 1 on the D20, wild pitch chance. So we will have to re-roll the D6 as if a 1-6. Well, either way we will, but 1-6 would be a wild pitch, and Stanton would move to 3rd. 15, so we don't have to re-roll the D20 again. We just go with the D6 as Bohr. And a 5-7 against a lefty. That is another base hit. They're going to score the run. It'll tie it up. Oh, wait, 5-7. Excuse me, that's a strikeout. Why did I think 6-7? Got 6-7 on the brain. That's a strikeout. 2 outs. Sorry, Marlins fans. My bad. Marcell Ozuna. 2 outs. And that's a 3-9. And he strikes out. 6 strikeouts for Zimmerman. And Detroit starting to put together what could be some decent outings here. If they could get the series victory, that would help them. They were at 2-8 before the previous game, and if they can rattle off 2 in a row, that will maybe make them feel a little better. Top of the order, Kinsler. 5-11, another 5-11, this time against a righty. 1-11 single, and he will single to lead it off. 5-11 seems to be a favorite of these dice. Jose Iglesias. Do you want to try that bunt? Maybe we should try the hit and run. They're going to hold him on. Yeah, they're going to try a hit and run here. He's going to be an A hit and run guy. Let's give it a whirl. A8. Well, it's a 5-8. So we go off of Conley's card against a righty. One would be a triple, fly ball center field, the rest. It's an 11. And let's double check. I don't think that there's anything special with it. Yeah, the fly out is a fly out. 1 out. Kinsler, he's going to try to get another lead here. See if he can go. 1-15 chance if he gets it. 5 or 6. It's a 9, but a 1 on the D20 means he could be picked off. So what that means is you take his second number here. That's 11. 1-11, he's safe. 12-20, he's picked off at first. It's a 14. He is picked off. 1-3. So that nullifies that runner. Miguel Cabrera. 2 outs. 2-5, and he strikes out. Didn't need to roll the D20. There was nobody on base, but that's okay. That's nitpicking. So we're through 4.5, and still 1-0 Detroit. I mean, this game is right there for the picking for the Marlins. Detroit has had numerous runners on base and have not been able to deliver. Okay. Bottom of the order, Hechavarria against Zimmerman. Bottom of the 5th, 1-0 Detroit. 4-7 against a righty, and he draws a walk to lead it off here. Jeff Mathis, not much of a bunter. Just going to go with the pitcher right there, not really a reason to bunt anyway. 2 on the D20, and lucky for Detroit, because a righty 5-6 would have been a single, but Saltalamacchia has a 0 for a passed ball rating, so we re-roll. Get him nice and shook up. Jeff Mathis. And a 1-4. Fly ball to left. That'll be 1 out. Adam Conley will be up to bunt. D bunter, not very good. Not very good at anything, it appears, when it comes to using the bat. They're going to play infield in. He's going to be an E bunter. E8. That is a 1-2 count. It means he fouls off the second strike. So he will swing it one more, or he will square around one more time. Try to get he needs a 3, 4, or 5. And he gets a 4. And so that'll be a sacrifice that works out. 5-4. Runner moves up. And now it'll be Martin Prado. 2 outs. Runner at second. Potential to drive him in with a single 2-star or better. 4-8 and a 1 on the D20. 4-8, that would have been a no-go. So this is a wild pitch chance off Zimmerman. 1-6. Eventually one of these are going to come up. 13. No wild pitch, but Prado gets a chance to roll again. 1-9. That's a ground ball to short. One column was the column to have, but that will end the inning. And this time the Marlins leave a runner stranded after Zimmerman finally gives up a walk on his season. So now we're going to go to the 6th, 1-0 Detroit. Not a lot of fireworks in this one so far, but fasten your seatbelts. You just never know when it's going to happen. Conley in the 6th inning, so he did give up one single, but he's a 5-inning starter. He is he's past his inning of weakness. J.D. Martinez, and against a righty, 6-5, he strikes out. 1-for-1 for Victor Martinez. He does have the only run batted in of the game. And a 3-7, he's going to ground it to short. And Hechavarria throws to first. Boer makes the catch in plenty of time. Martinez was only about halfway down the line. Justin Upton with 2 outs. 1-5. Struck him out. Conley still dealing. Not a bad afternoon. He's given up some base runners, but only one has crossed the plate so far for the Tigers. And all it would take would be a timely hit or two for the Miami Marlins to either tie it up or get out in front. And you have to wonder if... Just a second, I have to take a short break. Get a tissue. Alright, so it is 1-0. Have to wonder if Zimmerman will come out after this inning. This is his inning of weakness. But if the Tigers, he'll be up 3rd in the top of the 7th, and if Tigers have a guy where it might be worth pinch hitting, then they might just do that. Dietrich now. 3-7. And that's a fly out to left. Boy, they've just haven't gotten the good rolls. We've seen some teams go through that. Sometimes these bad rolls just stack up. Christian Yelich with 1 out, bottom of the 6th. 1-9 and a strikeout. 2 gone, and it is Giancarlo Stanton. 1 for 2 with a double. 5-6, batting from the right side, and that is a single. He's 2 for 3 now. Brings up the ever troublesome Justin Boer. He's 0 for 2, but he is a guy who can turn on him. And here is the pitch. That's a 4-5. Against a lefty, ground ball to short. They're having to hold Stanton on, and a lefty means that Iglesias will be a 2-7 instead, as they're holding the runner on. 19 and 12, and or at 19 and 11, and I'm pretty sure that the E7 and the 11 will be just fine. Yes, so that will end the inning. Iglesias makes the play. So as I said before in other videos, any lead runner I'm holding, I'm kind of playing it straight up like you see at the park. If you go to the park, you're going to see just about everybody respected to an extent. So that's, I feel like the penalty for that in Super Advanced is pretty good. So, like, it's pretty fair. So Conley's still out there. This is going to probably be his last inning. Top of the 7th. They're down 1-0. And Saltalamacchia at the plate. Switch hitter. And a 6-4. Batting from the right side. Fly ball to center. Ozuna 3-6. And 18. Now let's see. The trouble is going to be a 15 on an E6 in center field. Let's check it out. E6 and 15, right? 11-4, 15. That's a 2-base error on Ozuna. So the E2, everything is advanced 2 bases when you've got a fly out. So that is E8, and that pretty much brings up a case where they're probably going to take Zimmerman out. Andrew Romine, he is up to bunt. C bunter because they're holding him on, or they're playing the infield in, and an 8, a 2 on the D20. So we got to check that out. Well, passed ball, neither of these guys are passed ball, so they re-roll. Another pitch. Again, C, bunter. C4. And a C4 gets a speed check. Romine may beat this out. Can Mathis throw him out at first? So you're going to at least get the sack. Romine is a 1 to 14 chance of being safe. And he is safe, so a single on the bunt. And it's first and third. Zimmerman is definitely done for the day. Is he? Well, you know, what are we gonna do? You could take him out, you could leave him in. Well, first off, Conley is on fumes, and got to check Miami's bullpen here. Phelps and McGowan were last game. They're going to get Brian Morris, Kyle Barraclaw stirring around here. Boy, this is a... Zimmerman has pitched well. He's only given up 4 hits. They're going to give him a swing at this, and that'll give... Conley will stay in there as long as they're going to give him a chance. So Zimmerman swinging away. They're going to play the infield in here. And it is a 4-8, batting from the right side. That's a strikeout. So a big out. And now the Marlins, they're going to come and get Conley after that. Facing Kinsler, they've got to go to a right-hander. And they will go with Kyle Barraclaw. Conley went 6 1/3. Of course, he was not helped by his defense's error there. So it'll be Kinsler against the righty, Barraclaw. Again, the infield will be in. Andrew Romine could take off here. They will try. He's going to try to get a lead and get to second base with 1 out. You got a +9 for Barraclaw holding him, so not very good. Needs a 7, gets a 5. So he can't. He could still try stealing. In fact, being held on. It's a +5 and a -4, so a 1 to 13 chance. But that would be the second out. So he's not going to steal at this point. Here's Kinsler against Barraclaw. It's a 3-7. Oh, and it's a line out to second base, and that's the second out. Great snag there by Dietrich. 3-7. That's a line out to third on Kinsler's card against the lefty. So no real change if they had left Conley in. Now it's going to be Iglesias. And now I think Kinsler... an insurance run would be great for Detroit right now. I mean, it might be worth getting the 2 runs if they could get the guy to second, but you make the last out on that steal, and then you'll be in trouble here. So, Iglesias, of course, you got a 1 in 3 chance at best here of Iglesias getting a hit. So, here we go. Iglesias against Barraclaw, 2 outs, and a 3-6. And that's a fly ball to center, and that is not going to get the job done. The inning will be over. The Marlins fight back. And maybe leaving Zimmerman in there was not the right move. They get a hit and an error, but can't get that run home. Going to go to the bottom of the 7th. It's a 7th inning stretch here. And Zimmerman back out. 1 inning past his weakness point. And it'll be Marcell Ozuna going to lead off here against Zimmerman. 4-4 against a righty. That'll be Iglesias. Ground ball to shortstop X. 1-E7. 5 and a 7. I think that's going to get the job done. You need like high numbers for E7 shortstop. Yeah, or a 3. You need the lowest of the low or the highest of the high. So that will be 6-3 put out. 1 out. Denny Hechavarria. Doesn't hit many home runs. 3-10. But he won't hit a home run, but he is going to get a base hit here and has a good chance of being able to stretch it into a double. 1-13. But it's an 18. And so that will be a single for Hechavarria. Jeff Mathis it's the 7th inning. They're trying to give Real Muto the day off, but they may leave him as a pinch hitter later. Jeff Mathis with Hechavarria at first. 1 out. 2-5, 6 on the D20. 2-5 if you can see that. And that is going to be trouble for Zimmerman. 2-5. 1 is a double. 2 is a single 2-star. Single. Hechavarria moves to third. First and third and is the pitcher spot. And the Marlins, with first and third, they're going to call on Ichiro Suzuki. And the Tigers have Alex Wilson warming up. So Ichiro against Zimmerman, first and third, they're going to play with the infield in. Wait, they'll play with the infield at corners in. They're going to take it home if it's to second, or if it's to first or third. 1 out, runners at the corners, still a 1-0 deficit for the Marlins. 5-9 with a 12 on the D20 against a lefty. 5-9. 1-4 single would score the tying run. Line out to second, 5-20. It's a 14. That will be a line out to Kinsler, and that's the second out. So with Prado up, Zimmerman right at the edge of weakness. And they will stick with him for one more batter. The infield back now. 2 outs. Martin Prado looking for a hit here. Score a run, maybe 2. And a 1-8 against a righty. And that's a fly ball to left. But with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, that is a single 2-star. That is a clutch hit. And they tie the ball game. Prado with the clutch single, and they tie the ball game, and Mathis will end up at third base. So that is the end of Zimmerman's day. They're going to make the switch to Wilson. Boy, 1-1. Game has changed on a very clutch hit there by Prado. So he went 6 2/3, just about got through that inning, and not quite able to do it. So not the best matchup here for the Tigers. A lefty might have been better, but they're going to bring in Alex Wilson to try and shut this down right now. 2 outs, runners at first and third again. Again, the infield back. Got to roll the D20 as well. 2 outs. 10 on the D20, 2-11. Ballpark single. That would be a 1-11. They'd score another one if they get a 1-11. It's a 17, so that'll be a line out to Kinsler, and that ends the inning. They do get that tying run, though, as Zimmerman just peters out there at the end. And so Barraclaw has been pinch hit for. Yeah, I forgot to write him down. That was Ichiro. Okay. So they're going to use Brian Morris here. Brian Morris currently has, yeah, well, helps to look at the Miami stat sheet. Morris, 2/3 of an inning pitched. I want to see what he did in real life. How many? Morris 17, so in theory he's got to go another 6, and they're going to bring him in here with the game tied. Top of the 8th. And he is a guy who has a propensity for injury. Alright, so Miggy Cabrera going to lead off here, top of the 8th, tied up at 1. Morris, a right-hander, and the pitch. And a 3-8, and he grounds it to short, and Hechavarria makes a very casual throw to first with that one for the out. J.D. Martinez, 6-6 against a right-hander. That is a double 1-2, single otherwise, and that'll be a single for J.D. Morris not good at holding on either. With one out, they're going to let Victor Martinez hit instead of trying to move Martinez along with the stolen base. And against, if you can see that, that's a 5-4. A little bit of glare here today for some reason. The sun is just in the wrong spot. Batting from the left, 5-4. Fly ball to right field, shallow. That'll be caught by Stanton, and so let's see, with they're holding him on, but it's going to be +5, -2, so the 1-16 chance if JD gets a 5. If he gets a 9, he's completely out. But with 2 outs, then it's a 1 on the D20, a pickoff. Oh my goodness, that's the second pickoff roll we've had, and he is a 1-3. This is a done and dusted deal. That's going to end the inning. So picked off, 1-3. Trying to get cute and get the guy to second base, and instead Morris picks him off. Going to the bottom of the 8th. Home half here, and it's going to be Alex Wilson will go for another inning. And it'll be Yelich against Wilson. Tied up at 1. 1-7, and he hits a grounder to Kinsler. Kinsler makes it look easy. Giancarlo Stanton. 6-4 against a righty. Fly ball to center. Romine, 4E13. 17 means he will get there. The E13, we'll have to see if a 13 on an E13 in center field's a problem. Nope. He makes the play. So, 2 outs. Justin Bohr. Lefty against righty Wilson. 2-7. And that's going to be a single. Single for Bohr, 1 for 4 now. Bohr doesn't steal. Here is Ozuna with 2 outs. Made an error earlier in the game. Didn't cost him anything, but maybe he's looking to make his mark on this game. That's a 6-9, 3 on the D20. 6-9 righty. Ground ball to short. They're holding Bohr on against a righty, so that's not an issue for Iglesias. 1E7, 10, and 6 on an E7. Let's just, I think it needed to be a 3 last time I checked. Yeah, it did. So 6 is not a problem. 6-3 put out. All right. Top of the 9th. Can one of these teams decide it here? Brian Morris is through, and top of the 9th, they are going to go with A.J. Ramos. Might as well use their closer. It's not going to have a closing situation after this. So, Miami Ramos is a 6-12. Okay. Here we go. Ramos will face Upton, who was at bat when Martinez was picked off, and then Saltalamacchia, but they could pinch hit if necessary, and then Romine, so Upton leading off. And against a righty, 6-7, he walks. Detroit. They're going to give Steven Moya a chance here to pinch hit. For Saltalamacchia, they have Bobby Wilson who can come in and catch. So here is Moya against Ramos. Nobody out, runner at first. Upton, well, a chance to steal here. +3 for Ramos, -1, so that's a +2 chance. If they can get a 4 or a 5, that would even out, and it would be a 1-16 chance. Let's give it a shot here. A 9 won't get the job done, so, and probably not a chance with 2 outs. So here's Moya. Nobody out, runner at first. 4-6, 5 on the D20. 4-6 against a lefty, and that's a strikeout. Andrew Romine. .47, batting from the left side. 4-7, that's a fly ball to left. No chance for the runner to get to second, and that'll be the pitcher spot, which will, they will pinch hit with they're going to pinch hit with the, they're going to go ahead and pinch hit with Bobby Wilson here. They're going to have to bring him in anyway, and they couldn't get any, they could have pinch hit with Wilson to bunt, in theory. But he's going to hit here. So 2 outs, runner at first. He'll be off with the pitch. And here it is. And it's a 1-6. And he strikes, and a 1-7. That's a ground ball to second. That will not be a clutch hit because there are no runners in scoring position. So that will be a simple 4-3. And that will be it. And they will have to do a little juggling of their lineup, but after Upton will go the pitcher spot. Actually, yeah, that's what they're going to do. And they're going to bring in Justin Wilson for an inning. You might ask, why would you double switch if you were going to plan on only using a pitcher for an inning? It's like, well, they basically had to do something with their closer situation because, or not their closer, their catcher situation. And rather than use up another pinch hitter, if this game goes long, if you use the catcher here, then you can avoid using up another pinch hitter. Instead, you're just going to have. Now you do get to the pitcher spot a little bit sooner next time around, so you could say, well, you're going to use another pinch hitter anyway, but that could be 2 batters or 2 innings from now. So there's some strategy to using the double switch. A lot of times it's just because you don't want to. You want to use a long reliever. Sometimes you're just looking for a defensive substitution. You just do a multi-switch. That's not really. I consider a double switch where you're going to move the pitcher to a much later spot in the lineup. And in theory, putting the pitcher right here is the best thing to do if you can. The other thing I thought about doing, if I was going to use Buck Farmer, who is a long reliever, I could have put him in Romine's spot, left Moya in there to play. Does he play center? No, but you could move Justin Upton to center and put the pitcher in the 8 hole, which is almost as good. But in this case, we're going to use Justin Wilson as a lefty, just trying to get a couple outs here, get an inning out of him. Hechavarria leading off here in the bottom of the 9th. Still 1-1. Looking for any kind of a run to finish this game off. Fly ball left. Justin Upton 3-4. Detroit hoping for high numbers on the D20. And they get it, a 16 and then a 9. That's going to get it out. Double check the E4. Yeah. That'll be the first out. Jeff Mathis. They will pinch hit for Mathis with JT Realmuto. He's going to come in the game anyway. So, again, this is another situation where you could be using an extra catcher or extra batter that you don't need to use, but Mathis was in to try and give Realmuto a little bit of relief, and so there's a chance if Realmuto could connect with this guy, it could be over. So Realmuto with 1 out for 6 against a righty, and there's a single. And it's going to bring up the pitcher spot, and they're going to go ahead and against the lefty, they will use Chris Johnson, and Tigers are going to end up matching up here, so they're going to bring in. They're going to bring in their longer option, Buck Farmer, now. So it's going to be a matchup situation. They also know that the Marlins have no other lefties on the bench. So it's going to be Chris Johnson. So, this is the kind of strategy that just ends up eating up some time, but I think it's well worth it to just kind of talk things through and give everybody an idea why I'm doing certain things. So Justin Wilson went a third of an inning. It'll be Buck Farmer out from the fields to try and pitch a couple innings here. So yeah, boy, that's Now I'd almost like to do the double switch and bring in goes. Yeah, oh well. Didn't plan that well enough ahead. So, runner at first. Real Muto against Farmer, a +3 minus or +2, so that's a +5. He's going to try to get a lead. 4 or 5 would get him a lead and get him to second base. It's a 7. So they're holding him on, and a 1 to 12 chance. If they get 2 outs, they might go ahead and do it. So Chris Johnson against the righty Farmer. 3-7, and that is going to be a ground ball double play, and we're going to go to extra innings. 6-4-3. It's 1-1, and yeah, we're going extras. It's going to be Jose Urena coming in for the Marlins, and he's going to pitch a couple innings, maybe 3, and he is available. So both teams have a long reliever in here now. Urena. He's a 12 guy. Ramos went 1 inning. Okay. I want to say P3 and P4 after Suzuki. Okay, so we still got quite a ways to go here, potentially. It's going to be not Buck Farmer, Jose Urena. Put Ramos on the discard pile, and it's going to be Ian Kinsler leading off here. Top of the 10th, 1-1. And we got long relievers in here for both teams. 2-6. And he's going to lead off with a single, maybe a double. 17's a single. And they're going to try the hit and run here with Kinsler. Urena not bad at holding guys on. They're going to be a -2, so let's take a look. Kinsler, that turns him into a 1 to 12 if they have to do a stealing check. So, but it's going to be an A hit and run chance because they're holding them on. 2 on the D20. So that means we check for a balk. Urena doesn't balk, so let's re-roll this. Hit and run. 5-7 against a righty. Ground ball to second base, X. That is Dietrich, 4E10. They're holding the runner on against a righty. So that means that the second baseman is responsible. That makes him a 5E10, so look out. 7. 5 and a 7. That's a single. And then the 9 on an E10. No error, but that's going to be a single, and it's going to be first and second with nobody out. Brings up Miguel Cabrera. No way he's bunting here. He's looking for the long ball. See if he can hit it out of Marlins Park here. 5-4 against a righty. Fly ball to center field, X. Ozuna, 3E6. 3 and a 9. And then the 14 on the E6. Let's take a look here. I think the 3 and 9 will be okay. That's an F2. Now center fielder, E6 and a 14. Well, he makes the play, so that's the first out. Brings up JD Martinez. He is 2 for 4. Also got picked off. 5-6 against a righty. Strikes him out. Could have thought about stealing there with Kinsler maybe, but Victor Martinez now with 2 outs. 2-11. That's a ground ball back to the pitcher, and Urena throws to first. The nice thing about doing you would do a double steal there And if Kinsler gets thrown out, you'd still have a runner in scoring position. So that's a tactic I used to use relatively often. I haven't had much of a chance to use it recently, but so Buck Farmer got the double play to end the 9th. So we're in the bottom of the 10th, still 1-1, and it'll be the top of the order. Prado against Farmer, and a 4-9 against a righty. 1-3 would be a home run, but Prado not a power hitter, so it's going to be a 1-3 single. 13, so you fly ball to left, and that'll be the first out. Derek Dietrich. .6 against the lefty, and he walks. And that's going to bring up Yelich, Christian Yelich, 0 for 4. This could be a big hit here if he gets one. 3-5 with a 9 on the D20. 3-5. A 1 would be a home run. 2-20 a double. If they get the 1, this game will be over. He hits a long drive. Does he get it? It's a 17 just off the screen. That will be a double, though, and with 1 out, Dietrich not the fastest runner in the world. They are holding him on, too, so that's a 1-10, and a center fielder, Romine, +2, so that's a 1-12. Do you send him or do you hold him with 1 out? The way you... The textbook way to do it's to hold him, because a sac fly wins. And they are going to hold him. And then Stanton will be intentionally walked. His run means nothing. And they will take their chances with Justin Bour. Everybody's going to be in. Infield in, outfield in. And here is Bour with the bases loaded. 1 out. Everybody in. Trying to keep this game going. It's a 4-4 against a lefty. Ground ball to short. So that is Iglesias. If he gets an A, this inning would be over. It's a 2 on the D20, so a 2 on the D20 with a 1. Guess what that means? The numbers, the pound sign, infield is positioned indefensively. That means that is a single. Ball game is over, and it squeaks through the infield. Justin Bour with the 1 out single brings in Dietrich, and the fans go home happy. Marlins come back and get a 2-1 victory here at Marlins Park over the Detroit Tigers. And that will be it. The loss goes to Buck Farmer. He pitches 2/3 of an inning and gives up a walk and 2 hits, plus an intentional walk, if you want to count that. The win for Jose Urena. He goes 1 inning and is the pitcher of record when Bour gets the single to put this game away. So, nice low-scoring affair. We still took some time, but that's quite all right. We're trying to get this right, and I think we have. So, hero of the game, Justin Bour, 2 for 5, 2 singles, winning run. Another hero, Martin Prado, with a single, clutch single to tie the ball game, to take it to extras in the 7th inning. So, you know, tough one there for Zimmerman and the Tigers. It looked like he had things under control. His team just sort of threw away a bunch of opportunities to get themselves runs early in the game, and it eventually cost them. So, I want to thank you for watching yet again. This is another production of the Tabletop Baseball channel. I want to thank my collaborator, Earl Shamblin, for also known as Tabletop Earl, for providing this channel to bring you games that are surrounding, you know, a project that I really loved the first one, and I still love this one, even if it's been, you know, there's been some ups and downs as far as, you know, don't always get the greatest of feedback. We're just going to keep plugging on here. You know, no offense to anybody who, you know, I don't have any gripes about that. I mean, it's there, you know, the ability to do that. You know, it's there for a reason. It's to give you guys the ability to give feedback. And, you know, if there are things, I know I've had the feedback, the games are a little on the long side. You know, that's the type of thing that, I mean, it's partly my style is, you know, to try and talk things through, but the other part of my style is, you know, I want to make sure that people understand why I'm doing things. You know, I'm hoping that, you know, the newer player has an opportunity to see, you know, what my, you know, why, you know, and have an idea of why I'm doing things. I mean, I'm not a Strat player for a long time, but I am a baseball fan who has enjoyed the strategy aspects for a long time. And, you know, I think from studying, from, you know, watching games and scoring them and such, I feel like there's an opportunity there to just try and, you know, bring some, because, I mean, that's been one of my chief complaints of television and the, you know, broadcasts of ball games, is that I just don't feel like they give enough of information to the viewer as to why teams are doing what they do. You know, why would you hit and run in a situation? Why would you choose not to go on a double when you're from first, like Dietrich? We could have sent Dietrich. If he gets thrown out, that's the second out, and then you're really hoping for. Of course, I mean, you could argue then that Yelich could move to third on the throw. So, you know, there's that pot, but you get one fewer chance to get hits, you know, and that's, when it comes right down to it, that is the theory that I have behind baseball. That tends to be it. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but think about it this way. You have, you know, you have hitters. Hitters have percentages. You know, that average is actually a percentage, if you want to think about it that way. If you're a math guy. If you're not a math guy, maybe you've never really thought about it, but a hitting percentage, a batting average, is a percentage. A guy with a 250 average, he's going to hit the ball 25% of the time safely for a hit. So you start thinking about that, then it's a 1 to 5 on the D20. So, you know, when you have a 1 to 5 on the D20 versus a 1 to 13, because the guy, you know, you add that up, that becomes a little bit easier to think about. Now, the thing about batting averages that aren't always accurate is that sometimes you can be misled into thinking that batting average equates to safe hits, or the best chances that, you know, the chances that someone has for a good outcome. That's not exactly true. You know, you have walks, you have other, you know, other we'll call them productive plate appearances, but they don't always get you what you're looking for. Bases loaded, yeah, those things will get you what you're looking for. But the walks and the hit by pitch don't get there unless, you know, you've got the bases loaded. So, you know, then in that case, you still probably need another hit. So again, you're stringing two things together. If you get a single or better, you don't have to string two things together. You're stringing one. You get a runner to second, you get a chance. You hit a single. Now, it could be a single 1 star. That's not going to score. You still need 2, but you greatly increase your chances if that runner gets to second. Now, less than 1 out, or less than 2 outs, getting them to third is pretty darn good too. Even better. Wild pitch or whatever. But what I really like to think about is, I have a guy at the plate probably that's going to at best hit 30% of the time. 300 average, that's a 30%. You get guys 350, okay, 35%, fine. That's a 1 to 7 on the D20. You know, that can inform some of your choices. You know, it's, you know, whether you go or not. You know, it means, so let's just take 333. 33%. That's 1 in 3. You've got 2 outs left. Let's say there's 1 out and the runner is at second. Okay, well, I've got 2 out of 3 chances. Now, granted, again, I'm taking some things for granted here that, oh, if I roll it 3 times, I'm always going to get a hit 1 out of 3. That's not going to happen. You know, that's just not possible. You're going to get streaks where you know, there's a distribution. So you're not always going to get that. But I think in this case you can start to somewhat assume that, because I think it's good theory, because you're also going to have cases where you get 3 in a row. So let's just take that for example. You get 1 out, runner at second. I mean, that's why a sacrifice with a runner at first with a team that you know is going up against a tough pitcher. Go for it. Get him to second, because then you've got 2 chances. Now, granted, his average is going to be less against, so let's just say it takes down to 200, so 20%. That's a 1 out of 5. Well, yeah, but it's going to be, yeah, I'm basically talking about probabilities in a way. But see, think about it this way. So let's say it's a 200 hitter against Clayton Kershaw. I don't know what he is. He could be worse than that, but let's just guesstimate 200 average, 20%. That's 1 out of 5. Well, 2 chances out of 5 is better than 1 chance out of 5, correct? Well, or, you know, you get 2 rolls at that 5, or this is what I'm trying to say. You get 2 rolls at that 1 chance when you have 2 out, or when you have 1 out, and that runner at second. If you decide to throw away another out for some reason, stealing or this or that, that could be a problem. But I mean, getting the runner to third's fine. But there's also cases where you just want to get that guy to second and say, okay, I'm going to take my shot. That, and even in Strat, it's probably a little better, because your chances are 1 in 2 that you're going to get something off of the hitter's card. And if he's a good hitter, you know, he's got a fairly decent chance of getting a hit. So, and again, we're talking fairly decent is like, you know, again, 1 in 3. So that's where you need to start thinking like, 2 outs. Oh, I definitely should go. If I've got a 1 to 10 chance getting home on a throw from center, I got to take that. That's 50% chance. You got to do that. If it's 1 out, that's kind of what I'm talking about here. We had a chance here where Dietrich was held up at third with 1 out. Well, I got 2 chances to bring him home. If I get him thrown out at home, then you've got 1 chance to bring Yelich home. And that, you know, yeah, you take 2 chances over 1. That's what I would say. Now, you might miss out on both those chances, and that's tough luck. But you've given yourself a better shot to score Dietrich, which we did. And have I read? Probably not, because I'm not a big reader, but I would love to. I should probably start writing down some different, if there's baseball strategy or whatever, or you know, maybe the Moneyball stuff. I don't know, but I mean, I like the idea of using statistics to help yourself. You know, again, good management doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the result you want. All you can do is get the result, give yourself the best chance to get the result you want. And so, Tango, I'm going to write it down here. Lichtman and Dolphin. No, I haven't, but I'm going to look it up. Maybe if it's it'd be nice if it were on Amazon. I'd just fire it up on the Kindle. But I guess that's what I'm saying. You know, I really have wanted to be able to try and be a little more teaching in a way. And if that's what gets me thumbs down, then just put that. Say, I don't like your teaching. Well, good. Then Yeah, that's what I'm getting at here a bit. And maybe I could be schooled a little more on a book like that. Maybe it would make me open up my eyes to some other types of situations. Baseball is obviously going to be a little different than Strat. Strat, we have things right in front of us. We know so-and-so has a something percentage. So we have a much better... And so that's where I also have dilemmas. And you will too. When do I do the right thing by Stratomatic rules versus when do I do the right thing on... when do I do the thing that managers would typically do in Major League Baseball? And so that's a dilemma that you're going to have. And I will just tend to close up here, probably my last point. Say, do what's in your heart, what will make you feel the best about what you're doing. There are going to be times that I choose things that I think a manager would do, like taking a pitcher out or sticking with a pitcher, or I'm probably going to do things where I feel like I have percentages hard and fast. What you guys would say is like, okay, well, look at Brian Morris. Brian Morris's card, I already put the cards away. That was not good looking. I mean, you got a lot of stuff there in the middle that's bold. You're like, man, you're lining the Marlins up for some problems. And it's like he got through an inning. That's what a manager would do. He would say, I've got to use guys in a way that's going to help my team. If I have all of my relief pitchers tired... now, granted, this is a different situation. You go extra innings, you're always going to end up having to use a few relievers, unless you've got Kershaw or, Bumgarner or who knows, you name it, Verlander. Unless you have one of these guys, Kluber, although Kluber, I don't know as he goes 9 innings that often, but, you get guys like that. You get guys that can go 9 innings. Yeah, then you might only have to use one in a 10-inning game or one reliever. But, we're open for second guessing. I guess what I try to do is give you my thoughts on why I'm doing something. If you want to second guess it, great. Leave a comment, and I would love to hear. I'd love to maybe, I don't want to say an argument, but at least a debate. Because I think that's fun debate, is when you start saying, not that I want you to say, oh, you were wrong. It should have been this, man. Instead, I want you to say, what do you think about maybe not sending... Maybe you should have sent Dietrich there. And then I can say, well, I could have rolled that. He would have been like a 1 to... What did I say he was? I want to say a 1 to 10. Would have been a 1 to 10 roll maybe. Maybe 1 to 12. So a 60% chance. He might score. And then you would be fine. You would be happy. I would be probably, well, you wouldn't necessarily be happy. If you were rooting for the Marlins, maybe you would be. Maybe you would be happy because you thought to yourself, okay, that result worked out. Okay, and maybe a 60% chance is worth it. I don't know. Like, I have to keep thinking through this, because it's both. You have to. You can't just think of straight percentages. You also have to think about percentages, like, what do they call it? Win probability. And that's kind of something that's in this too, is like, what are your chances to win if you roll that? It's 60% in theory, but if that 40% goes, what are your chances of actually, if you hold, what are the chances of winning? What are the chances of winning if you don't hold? Well, we know if you don't hold, it's 60 plus maybe a third, so of the rest of the 40. So maybe a 72% chance of winning. Whereas and so maybe it's a good debate. Maybe you can say, okay, well, you've got Stanton who you walk, so you've got Bohr and Azuna. What are you going to get from there? You have probably some 250 to 300 hitters. So you've got 2 chances. You've got, let's just say you have 6 chances out of 10. Because, add them together. You've got 2 chances you got 2 chances, and that's going to each be 3 out of 10. You can add them together and figure about 6 out of 10 is the chances you're going to get. So, okay, I will. I'll check out tangotiger.com. So, you know, that might be a great argument to say, okay, well, you got 60% on a 1 to 12, and then you've got a third with that second out, and you get Yelich to third. So you got 1/3 that's going to get the hit off of Bohr anyway. So that would be a great argument, and I might say, congratulations, you've won the argument. Maybe my eyes have been opened now. Maybe I should have sent him. A lot of this, and this is also, so this is the very last thing. I'm sorry, but I feel like this is fun stuff to talk about. As a baseball fan, this is where we really begin to mature, when we start thinking about these things and realize that, like, most of the things that happen in a ball game are one chance in who knows how many. And you might get lucky on that chance, and you might have made the doggone wrong decision as a manager or as a third base coach or whatever. You might have messed it up completely based on the win probabilities and stuff, but it works out. You look like the hero. In most cases, as fans, we think of guys that do that as just, oh, that was a great play, and forget about the thoughts behind it. But it still may have been a horrible decision, but it worked out, so nobody thinks about it. When we think about it is when it goes wrong, and then they don't score, and then you go, you bunged that one up, didn't you? You're a horrible manager. We need to fire you. Buck Showalter, granted, Buck not using Britton. If they score a run, it doesn't matter. They may still, actually, if they score a run, then they bring in Britton, and he looks like a friggin' genius, or maybe not a genius, but at least, you know, and Britton closes them down. Then Baltimore wins, and nobody ever brings it up. It never is talked about. His strategy works in that situation, but because his batters went as cold as an Arctic winter, he gets blasted. And it may have been bad. Using him over, or using a Baldo over him, is probably a bad decision, but man, we just have to take it easy on managers. And this is you know, and if you find some old posts of mine on some board somewhere, you'll probably see where I'm just like roasting Charlie Manuel for making bad decisions. Well, guess what? He probably didn't have a team where he could do things any differently. He had a team that was pretty long ball oriented. Maybe I should have been complaining at Gillick for getting the wrong guys at the plate, you know, hitting and running, things like that. What you could say in that situation is, you know what? Hitting coach isn't, I don't really see much improvement from guys like this or that or the other. Like, I don't see their situational hitting being that great, but then again, it could just be that 1 in 3, and that 1 in 3 just doesn't come up very often for them. So anyway, I guess that's just my soapbox for the day. And this is actually baseball related, so I hope maybe that will give me a little bit of positive instead of negative. And I'm not being antagonistic. This is not, I sound a little bit, but I'm just passionate about this. You know, you use your head, do the best you can. Sometimes you're going to get proven wrong. Maybe I even talked myself into a better decision here. I may have just done that, and it's all right. It's good to do that. It's good to continue to evaluate your premises, your circumstances, and what you would do in situations, because that's how we learn. You know, you constantly punt from the other team's 35-yard line. You just keep giving them the ball. Eventually, they're going to probably figure it out, and they're going to end up scoring on you. But maybe going for it. Yeah, maybe. Maybe even at 4th and 7, it's worth it. I mean, one throw gets them back there. So these are the types of things that we're talking about. Anyway, if you like this video, please like it. Like the video here, subscribe it. I would really appreciate that. It's great to see people who appreciate the videos. Again, it's not that big of a deal if you don't. like it and you put a thumbs down. That's the way it goes. Doesn't feel too good, but we're still here. So, and we're not leaving. So, thanks for watching, guys. It's a 90-minute video, and I'm just gonna go ahead and close it down. Strat on, everybody. It continues to be great making videos for everybody, and thanks a lot for watching. Strat on.